In this video I'm going to talk about indenting with Python because Python is based on how you indent. And if you don't indent correctly, Python gets mad and doesn't work the way that it should work. So I'm going to create two functions and I'm going to show you different places where indenting is important. We've kind of played around with it a little bit, but I'm going to kind of make a more formal approach at it today. So our first one, func1. Now when I put a colon at the end, that is telling Python that I've created this function. I've called it func1, and now when I hit enter, automatically Replit, or Python, will indent for you, saying, oh, you've created this function. Everything that goes inside the function needs to be indented at that level. So I'm going to just put a couple print statements. This is inside the function. I'll do another print statement because I'm just going to put some things inside of the print statement or inside of the function. This is 2. Okay, I'm still inside the function, so I'm going to stay indented, and now I'm going to create a turtle inside of this function. Let's create crush. Let's give crush a color so it'll be easier to tell. Oops. Let's make crush blue. And I'm going to have crush go forward 50. Okay, for right now, that's all I'm going to put inside of this function. So when I hit return, it automatically indents like what else do you want in the function. But I don't want anything else right now, so I need to backspace to get out of that function. Okay, so I created a bunch of dead space. I'm just going to get rid of that. So now I'm outside of the function. I'm done with what happens inside. Time to create my second function. The second one is going to get some user input and have some different outputs based on their input. Okay, so I'll call this one func2. And when I put a colon, this is saying I've created the function. So now when I hit return, Python will automatically indent this. So I'm going to get some user input. I'm going to say, do you like snow? Oops. Okay, I'm just going to ask that question. Do they like snow? Give them the chance to enter it. And now I'm going to just check. If user input, I'm going to do dot lower so they can enter it however they want. If that equals yes, oops. And now I'm done with my if statement, I'm going to put a colon. So just like with the functions, when I put a colon, if I hit return, automatically Replit or Python will indent for you because it's saying now we're inside the function, so that's why these two were lined up where they were. But now we're inside the if statement saying, all right, they said yes, what do you want to happen? So I'll just do a print statement. You answered yes. And I'm going to create another turtle in here. Let's do squirt. And let's change squirt's color. Oops. Let's make squirt red so it's obvious. And let's have squirt go backward. Let's have him go backward 50. Okay, so if they said yes, these are the 4 things that are going to happen because they're all indented at the same level. So we're inside of the if statement. I don't want anything else to go in this if statement, so I'm done with it. I'm going to backspace once to get out of it. All right, now else if user input dot lower. If they say no, I'm going to put a colon at the end. What do you think is going to happen when we put a colon? If I hit return, it's going to indent. I'm going to say print. I'm going to say you answered no. And I'm going to create another new turtle. I'm going to call this one George so it's obvious. Oh my goodness. Maybe I shouldn't use George if I can't spell it correctly. So I'm going to create a new turtle. And I'm going to make George purple. And now I'm going to make George draw a square. So I'm going to use a for loop. Notice I'm still inside of this else if statement, meaning I'm still going to do all of this if they say no. So I'm still on this indentation. I'm going to create a for loop for I in range 4, and I'm going to put a colon at the end of that. So we know what happens when we put a colon. It's going to indent again. It's saying, okay, inside of this else if we have a for loop. What do you want to do 4 things, or what do you want to do 4 times? So it's indenting again. The thing I want to do 4 times is make George go forward 50 and then turn right 90 to draw a square. Okay, now I'm done with this for loop. I don't want to do anything else 4 times. So I'm going to back out of the for loop. I just backspaced. I'm done with the else if too. I don't want to do anything else in there, so I'm going to backspace one more time. And I'm going to put else, like if they don't say yes or no, notice I put a colon. So when I hit enter, it's going to indent for me. I'm going to do a print statement that says, please only answer yes or no. And I'm going to send them back to the top of func2. So I'll call func2 there. All right, I am completely done with function 2. I've done everything I want to do in there. So I need to backspace out of all of this. Backspace out of the else and backspace out of the function. I'm going to get rid of this dead space here. So now what I need to do is to get this whole thing rolling, I'm going to call func1. I'm going to call the first function, and notice I'm on the very left-hand side to call that function. So let's run it. And when I call func1, this is inside the function, this is 2, and crush went forward 50. I want to call, though, I've not called function 2 yet. I want to do that inside of func1. So after it said this is inside, this is 2, and crush moved forward, something else. All of this inside, I'm going to call func2. So it's done moving forward, now call the next function. So let's try it again. This is inside the function, this is 2, it made crush move forward. Now it's asking me, do I like snow? I'm going to say yes. And then there's squirt move backward. Let's try it again. I'm going to say no this time. I'm going to say no this time. So now we're going to draw the square really slowly. Okay, that's your tutorial. Now your assignment is to go fix the mistakes I have in the file that's in Canvas. So good luck. Let me know if you need help.